All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I got good news and I've got bad news. And let's just go ahead and jump right into the bad news. The bad news is that there's only a few days left before all these people could potentially be wiped out. The good news is that the deadline has been extended to a new date of June 5th. So that leaves just 9 days to get your shit in order before debt ceiling deadline wipeout, collapse. Janet Yellen, the Biden administration, Joe Biden, Kevin McCarthy, Congress, SHTF times 1,000, okay? And particularly for those who are not in any real position to be any way, shape, or form prepared for what is about to just completely annihilate them at home, at work, at the bank, at the grocery stores. And it's not just these branches of government that are involved in this. We've got companies and businesses and corporations tied into the mix as well. As you guys may have seen in the news recently in headlines, other YouTube content creators sharing this information with you guys and sharing that the Home Depot, shit's getting bad, y'all. I don't know if Arthur expected this to happen, but or planned on this happening, but things ain't looking too hot, okay? And Home Depot has actually been reporting some terrible, like awful bad news about their biggest miss, their revenue's down, and they're issuing a big warning and announcement and alert for their guidance for the full year, okay? Now, this is going to affect a lot of people, most of which is going to be a bad and negative impact to the people associated. However, some will reap the benefits of this downward trend in the home improvement leader, the Home Depot. Now, Home Depot expects their revenue to be down 2 to 5%. I'm leaning more towards the 5%. Down 7 to 13% earnings per share, okay, for my investors out there. Their stock is down. The stock valuation is down. The stock price is down. But that's not all bad news. That's not all bad news, especially for my investors, especially for my traders, especially for those involved in options trading, calls, puts, strike price. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an alert for sure of obviously the negative consequences that can result from the Home Depot and our economy in general just barreling towards a recession in the middle of a debt crisis. But it's also an alert for those who are ready, willing, and able to take advantage of these opportunities to increase their wealth. Now this, granted, grain of salt is after Home Depot grew sales by $47 billion over a 3-year period of extreme growth. But recent bad weather and lumber deflation in their Western division, as well as everything else that we're dealing with, has ultimately put the company in a position to experience a decline. But again, $47 billion. Like, can we put things into perspective here? Like, can we do that? Maybe not. But with that being said, Home Depot's sales declining is an indication of what's happening in the economy. With homeowners, with businesses, with general contractors, with subcontractors, with repairmen and repairwomen and others. But their prices are still high in the stores. Unnecessarily high. Some may say, yeah, the prices are too high. They need to come down. Why is Home Depot's prices so high? Well, if the company's already expecting a decline in sales, do you think that they would want to see a decline in sales and a decline in the amount per sale? For instance, let's just say you work a job and you get paid an hourly rate. You typically work 40 hours a week. But the job you work for, let's just say it's Home Depot, says, you know what? Things ain't looking so hot. We're going to need to cut your hours, okay? And you're like, oh, shit, that sucks. I'm not going to make as much money. I wasn't making enough money as it was, but now I'm going to make less because I'm not getting 40 hours a week. I'm not getting overtime. And on top of that, we're going to need to lower your pay. So we're going to lower your pay and we're going to reduce your hours, okay? No, it's not okay. At least if they're going to impact you with less hours, you're thinking to yourself, well, I got to figure out how to make more per hour to make up for the loss of hours I'm not going to get, right? And this is what happens to businesses who are in control, and they have to make the choice and based on market trends and data and analysts and economists and projections that they're going to see a decline in sales. So should we at least try to make more per sale? Or do you try to make less per sale and increase the amount of sales that you get? But I don't think that's really possible. At least not right now. Not with the current model that we have, which you guys may have already experienced firsthand, okay? At the end of the day, though, we have to realize the truth. And no, it's not the truth that the CEOs and the CFOs and the executives and the owners and the presidents of these companies are going to keep making a lot of money. We know that. We don't have to talk about that. We know that's going to happen. The truth is that the market controls the price, okay? And this is the same market that allowed the prices to get as high as they are. Okay? And this is going to be the unpopular truth here. This is going to be the unpopular opinion. But as the prices were climbing and people kept buying, you essentially co-signed and agreed for this to happen. No one stood back and said, you know what? Let's retract. You know, let's not stimulate this economy. Let's do our own part, make our own impact and try to have an effective change on inflation. No, we didn't do that. No. Quantitative easing, low interest rates, free money, paycheck protection, CARES Act, stimulus checks. We were out there spending that money, making it rain, okay? Making these jokers filthy fucking rich. And now, after they've made huge headwinds and $47 billion in the instance of the Home Depot over the last 3 years and growth of the company, they're telling everybody that things ain't gonna be looking so hot moving forward. We're gonna probably start cutting some hours. We're gonna start trimming some staff. We're gonna start laying some people off. And then you'll see the videos on TikTok of people walking in Home Depot and just stealing shit, okay? But Home Depot's got a plan. These companies, these corporations, they all have a plan, okay? And that plan is going to effectively destroy the average American household and quite possibly the average non-American household who's here undocumented and illegally working at, in, or through the Home Depot to pick up lumber and tools or whatever it is they need for their construction projects, renovations, modifications, additions that will not be happening because the consumer spending, discretionary spending is taking a dive. Credit is suffering. Households are feeling the pain that businesses and the Fed have forced onto them. And this is what we're up against. This is it for probably the next 2, 3, maybe 4 years, folks. Unless there's some considerable change, drastic change, this is the road that we are going down. This is the path that we are on. And it is going to fuck some people up so damn bad. Now it says, somebody said they want to give their reasoning behind why Home Depot's in this situation. And they say, one, consumers are strapped for cash, so they're not doing as much. True statement, accurate statement. And number two, local, state, federal government is putting more and more regulations on your not owned house and property. We were looking at maybe adding a room to my house, and just the permits are going to be almost $20,000. There's a reason that in California, the tough shed homes that they tried to offer for homeless failed. The sheds cost $5,000, and then maybe about another $10,000 to $20,000 to make them have insulation and electricity and water, etc. And then the government stepped in and made them cost $150K each. All right, so that program was killed off after a small trial. And who would have thought that a 140 square foot shed would cost more than a 4-bedroom house would normally cost? Unbelievable, folks. Unreal. So this is California. Now, every state is not like California, but every state is experiencing their own challenges and struggles as it relates to pricing, costs, increase, inflation. Somehow I got a hair on my tongue. My beard hair getting in my mouth. So anyway, think about it like this. The comment says that the economy of the world will never be fixed until government have been put down, as they have nothing more than I can't read that. I get my channel deleted. The simple fact of the matter is even here in Florida, the changes to home ownership, homeowner insurance, the requirements on balance sheets for HOAs and condos, it's about to get ugly, folks. It's about to get real ugly. Affordability will be no more, okay? If you're poor, if you're in poverty, if you're low income, middle class, affordability is going to be a foreign concept. It's not going to exist. It's not going to have the same meaning as it did in the past. Another one says that I used to work for Home Depot in the 90s, and I went to the store last year. I couldn't believe the prices. I imagine now it is going to be even worse. It's incredible the times that we're living. Look, folks, inflation has always existed. It has always existed. We've just experienced a massive bout of inflation here recently. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to tell you what nobody else wants to tell you. And that is that you're going to have to make more money. You're going to have to make more money, plain and simple. Talking about building businesses, starting businesses, investing, you better stop talking about it. You better start doing it. I'm just saying. I got folks on the team already working, but if you ain't doing it, it ain't going to happen. My husband's liberal boss at a retail chain keeps asking the employees in the huddle, why are our sales down? Everyone keeps telling him to open his eyes, but he keeps his head in the sand. Makes sense. Makes sense. You know, you make horrible business decisions. You make horrible political decisions. And, you know, you see how the market reacts. And then you say, oh, I wonder why sales are down. Like I said, the market controls the price. The market will control the price. The market will control the demand. The market will ultimately control the supply. If you're associated, if you're attached, if you're tied into some industry that is going to be seriously impacted by these changes, especially in the building market niche sector, I hope you have a stockpile of cash. I hope you have a safety net. I hope you have a backup plan, because it's about to get ugly, folks. And as interest rates continue to go up, which the Fed has already announced that there will be more interest rate hikes, construction is about to come to a halt. Building is going to come to a halt. Repairs, renovations, modifications, additions, they're all going to come to a halt, okay? Because no one's going to want to borrow to build because of the high prices, because of the lack of ability to gain a customer base, because the consumer is struggling to keep up with inflation, to keep a job, to pay their bills. They don't have any discretionary income. to put towards any new build or any new businesses out here. They're just trying to buy food. They're trying to pay their rent. They're trying to not lose their damn house. They're trying not to get their car repossessed. They're trying not to get evicted, thrown out on the street, hoping that there's going to be some sort of aid from the government. I heard on the radio that there's a stimulus program, a new stimulus program, but it was from a car dealership talking about the new program they have is a stimulus, auto sales stimulus. Get a car for $50 down. $50 down. People ain't got the credit. They ain't got the job. They ain't got the income. They don't have the DTI, the ability to afford these cars and high-priced trucks and automobiles. Everybody is panicking. They are, last year we had the phrase quiet quitting. This year we got quiet panicking. Everybody is quietly panicking because they know what the fuck's about to happen, okay? They know what's about to happen. Retail problems can also be attributed to cutting employee hours and chronic coverage shortages on the different departments. Again, if the employees do not make money, then the employees do not spend money. You cannot have a consumer-based economy where the consumers are not making money. Therefore, they cannot support the economy. So either the consumers are going to have to make more money and or the products that you want them to purchase are going to have to cost less. Credit is going to have to be have greater availability. Confidence is going to have to be reinstilled into our whole economic society. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening right now. I hear a lot of talking. I hear a lot of negotiating is going on, deadlines being extended and cans being kicked down the road further. I don't hear any solutions. I don't hear any real indication of any actionable steps towards a positive change. All I hear is more of the same. And now I'm hearing that we're getting our naval defense getting hacked by China. It's crazy. Depot is concerned about lumber deflation. They were basing their success on the absolutely gouging price of lumber. But as I said, the market controlled it. And as the price of lumber went up, people kept buying it. Now, granted, you got to think, perfect storm, right? The price of lumber goes up. We get a flood of news headlines, breaking news updates about housing shortage, housing crisis. The Fed lowers interest rates. Like, this was all part of a plan. This is all by design, okay? But everyone who was on the sidelines, not really paying attention to what was happening, they are really starting to feel the pain of what was being built up. And now it may be too late for some, okay? I'm not going to say it's too late for everybody, but it may be too late for some who are still dragging their feet and not paying attention to what's happening and really just sitting by, woe is me. We're fucked now. What are we going to do? We're screwed. You voted for this. Look, whether it's you voted for this, whether it's the Fed says inflation is 2%, whether, the Biden administration decides to send another $100 billion to Ukraine, at the end of the day, how does that affect your wallet? How does that affect your bank account? How does that affect your lifestyle, your situation? Which, I hate to say it, but I know for a fact, this is tearing families apart, ripping them apart. Divorce, separation. Think about the kids. Every trip to Home Depot, I see a higher and higher price. I'm priced out of completing home projects. Can't even think of new projects. It's a real shame that the American consumer is held hostage by companies needing to satisfy their stockholders. You can't even finish a project, let alone start a project, which means that if you're in between projects, good luck trying to sell that house for at least what it's worth. While the trades that would be working on these projects are going to be unemployed. They're not going to have any work. Then they're going to start fighting for work, undercutting each other, not making any money, not making any profit. And then the quality of the work is going to suffer. The companies are going to go out of business. There's going to be no warranties whatsoever. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm not trying to frighten you guys. I'm not trying to alarm you, but I'm trying to inform you as to what is actually happening and what is about to go down. That's it. Because they're all in on it, okay? Home Depot's price, roughly $292, $293 a share, down over the past 6 months. Huge drop in their share price over the last 6 months. But there's good news. There's good news. Because options trading may seem to some overwhelming at first. But it's easy to understand if you know a few key points. Investor portfolios are usually constructed with several asset classes. These may be stocks, bonds, ETFs, and even mutual funds. Options are another asset class, and when used correctly, they offer many advantages that trading stocks and ETFs alone cannot even come close to matching, okay? This is important, folks. This is the next window of opportunity outside of, cheap debt, low interest rates, stimulus checks. If you ain't doing it now, well, the next conversation we may have is, all right, well, this is how you're going to have to learn to live as a homeless person or live out of your car or something. An option is a contract, if you're unaware, giving the buyer the right, but not the obligation to buy in case of a call, that's a call, or sell, which would be a put, the underlying asset at a specific price on or before a certain date, okay? Please pay attention. People use options for income, to speculate, and to hedge risk, which is what we're heading into right now. Huge speculation, lots of risk, and I can guarantee you right now people need that income. Options are known as derivatives because they derive their value from an underlying asset, okay? This is the beauty of it. And a stock option contract typically represents 100 shares of the underlying stock, but options may be written on any sort of underlying asset from bonds to currencies to commodities. I am going to begin sharing my options trades with you all, if you're interested. I'm going to begin sharing with you my options trades that make me money, if you're interested. Now, options are contracts that give the bearer the right, but not the obligation, to either buy or sell an amount of some underlying asset at a predetermined price at or before the contract expires. And like most other asset classes, options can be purchased with brokerage investment account apps. These include Tasty Trade, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokerage, E-Trade, Webull, Moomoo. Links are down in the description. If you want to see what I'm doing, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to have an opportunity, you're going to have a brokerage. It's a super simple and easy way to download an app and get started. So just saying, like, I don't want to mix words. I don't want to make the assumption that people are picking up on the message. I'm just saying explicitly, if you want to trade options, if you want to make money trading options, if you want to use this as a way of producing income and speculation, hedging against risk, you have to have a brokerage app. Again, links in the description down below. And Moomoo will give you free stocks. But either way, options are powerful tools because they can enhance an individual's portfolio, and they do this through added income protection and even leverage. A popular example includes using options as an effective hedge against a declining stock market to limit downside losses, okay? And in fact, options were really invented for the hedging purpose. Hedging with options is meant to reduce risk at a reasonable cost, where we can think, let's think about it. Where we could use options? It'd be like an insurance policy, okay? And just as you would insure your house or your car, Options can be used to insure your investment against a downturn. And if you have been listening to this video so far, what are we heading into, if not already in? A downturn. Home Depot has publicly come out and stated, downturn, expectations of a decline. I don't know how much easier this can get, folks. I really don't. You know, everybody says the economy's bad, the market's bad. The difference is the people who are out here making money in a bad economy, the people who are out here making money in a down market. The market not only controls the price, it not only controls the supply, not only controls the demand, but the market is also always going to be good for somebody. Okay? But if we only look at it inherently as it's bad and therefore it's bad for us, that's not how you make money. You got to say, okay, it's bad. So if it's bad for yin and yang, you know, two sides of the coin here. Well, if it's bad for somebody, it's good for somebody else. Okay. So this is think about it like this. Let's just say the housing market was bad. Opposed to the stock market, we were to say the housing market's bad. So if the stock market is bad, stock prices are falling. That's got to be good for somebody. How do we take advantage of this and turn that into a positive? How do we turn that into how do we turn that con into a pro? Well, if the housing market's bad, then the home prices and the home values are dropping. That means that now's the time to get in and scoop these deals up on a discount. And when the market recovers, you've gotten in at the lowest price possible. So don't just look at it and say the housing market's bad, stay away. No, the housing market's bad. How do I get in and have the greatest potential for upside? I'm just saying. Options can be used in a variety of ways, okay? Speculation is one of them. Wagering on a future price direction, and a speculation or a speculator might think that the price of a stock will go up, perhaps based on fundamental analysis or technical analysis, or a speculator might buy the stock or buy a call option on the stock. And speculating with a call option instead of buying the stock outright is attractive to so many because the traders can then use this option to provide leverage. And opt out of the money call option may only cost a few dollars or even a few cents compared to the full price of buying the stocks. You see what I'm saying? But we don't think that all these stocks are going up, okay? At least not right now. So options are a type of derivative security. Hey guys, sorry about that. The damn phone got too hot. Heard me talk about making this money and that joker cut off. So let me just make this quick before it cuts off again. I don't know. It is kind of hot outside, but, or maybe it's just what we were talking about was lit. It was fire. But options, they're a type of derivative security. An option is a derivative because its price is intrinsically linked to the price of something else. And if you buy an options contract, it grants you the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset at a set price or before a certain date. Therefore, a call option gives the holder the right to buy a stock, and a put option gives the holder the right to sell a stock. Think of a call option as a down payment on a future purchase, okay? And a call option gives the holder the right, but not the obligation to buy the underlying security at the strike price on or before expiration. And a call option will therefore become more valuable as the underlying security rises in price. Calls have a positive delta or a positive change. And opposite to a call option, a put gives the holder the right, but not the obligation to instead sell the underlying stock at the strike price on or before expiration. So now think, if you have a put option as an insurance policy, okay? If you own your home or if you own your car or anything like that, you're likely familiar with the process of insurance, protecting these assets, okay? So a home buyer buys a homeowner's insurance policy to protect their home from damage, and they pay an amount called a premium for a certain amount of time, like 6 months, 12 months, or, a year. And what they do is that the policy now has a face value and gives the insurance holder protection in the event that the home is damaged, okay? So you don't have to come out of pocket for all the costs and all the expenses just for having the policy. So the question is, what if you could do the same for an asset that wasn't a home? For instance, a stock, okay? So similarly, if we were to invest, or if an investor were to want to put an insurance policy on their Home Depot stock portfolio, they could purchase put options. And an investor may fear that a bear market is near and may be unwilling to lose more than a certain percentage, let's say 10% of their long position in the Home Depot. So if the Home Depot is currently trading at $2,500 a share, they can purchase a put option, giving them the right to sell that stock at $22.50, for example. And at any point in the next 2 years, they'd have that ability. And if in the next 6 months the market crashes by 20%, then they have made, that would be 500 points, by the way. They would have made 250 points solely from having that option and being able to sell at the $22.50 price point when it's now trading at $2,000, which is a combined loss of just 10%. And in fact, even if the market drops to zero, the loss would only be 10% if this put option is held. Again, purchasing options will carry a cost, the premium, and if the market doesn't drop during that period, the maximum loss of the option is just the premium spent. But at the end of the day, you can use the ability of the market dropping to make money. You can make money on stock prices falling. You can make money on stock prices going up. But given the current economic climate and situation that we're in, I feel as though it's pretty easy to identify the direction and the path that I would probably choose if I were to go that route. And if you want to know more and or just watch me do it, see how it goes, by all means, feel free. Comment down below. Let me know that there's interest, and I'll put up the link. I'm not going to put it on YouTube. I'll put it up somewhere else so that you guys can see it. And you can just watch. What I did when I started was I watched, I learned, I did test runs. So I was in the trade, but I wasn't financially in the trade. So it was all on paper. So at the end of the day, I look at the numbers, I look at the results, and on paper, it's like, okay, this is the direction that I'm going. This is the trend that I'm on. This is the amount of money I would have made versus this is how much I would have lost. Make some adjustments, make some tweaks, get better, get more comfortable. Then you start introducing the money only based on the facts and the data and the historical values, not emotions, and you go to work. And in just a few hours a day, you can produce substantial income by doing this at a time where things aren't looking so hot for people's income, for their money, for their jobs, for their businesses, for some of these companies and corporations whose stock values are potentially going to be severely altered in the next few months. That's all I'm saying, okay? If you guys want to know more, by all means, feel free, reach out. If you've made it this far in the video, I think you're onto something. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment. You guys take care, be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.